sure I don't have any phobias in the pathological sense. And as far as my fears, oh yeah, I've got them. I can't think of any specific examples right now, but I mean, I do remember, let's say, being on the edge of a cliff as I was climbing, and as I looked down, be fearful for a moment. But, you know, I once heard it said that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the ability to do what you need to do in the presence of fear. So I guess in my particular case, I think what I have developed is the ability to sense my fear, acknowledge it, and then move on from it. How do I think I'd react to some bizarre medical practices? Well, to be honest with you, I've observed surgery. That's pretty bizarre when you think about it. I mean, it's like carpentry on the human body. I know to some people it doesn't seem bizarre, but to me it seemed kind of weird. How would I react to some bizarre How would I react to bizarre and outrageous medical practices? Well, to be honest with you, I've already seen some pretty bizarre and outrageous medical practices. I mean, I've observed orthopedic surgery. It's like carpentry on the human body. I mean, it's actually quite brutal, but it is very effective. So I think the way that I would react to bizarre and outrageous medical practices is try to approach it from a beginner's mind. Listen, if this stuff has been done for generations and generations and generations, it must have some validity in that culture. And it's not for me to say whether it's right or wrong. I think I would approach it as a new observer, trying to learn whatever I could from it. If one of the foreign practitioners suggested that I bathe in... Wait, I have to read this. If one of the foreign practitioners on the journey believed bathing in goat pee... If one of the foreign practitioners... Oh, I love this question. If one of the practitioners on my journey suggested that I bathe in goat pee to cure my migraines, would I try it? Well, first of all, I don't suffer from migraines, but let's be more realistic. Let's say that it was suggested that I bathe in goat pee to cure something I do have. Well, why not? What's the downside? What possible bad thing could happen from me bathing in goat pee? And how did they collect all that goat pee? I mean, let's be honest, that's a lot of goats. But on the realistic side, my question is, would I suffer any detrimental effects by trying this treatment? I mean, how many people have done it, and what's been the worst possible side effect? If there's a very good likelihood that I'm going to come home with a nasty parasite that I can't get rid of, I'm going to think twice. But if that risk is fairly low, hey, why not? Oh, I love this question. If one of the practitioners on my journey suggested that I bathe in goat pee to cure my migraines, would I do it? Well, since I don't suffer from migraines, I would probably not indulge in the treatment. But let's just say that bathing in goat pee were to cure... Oh, I love this question. If a practitioner on my journey suggested that if I were to bathe in goat pee, it would cure my migraines, would I do it? Well, since I don't suffer from migraines, that would be a really tough question for me to answer. So let's put it in more real terms. Let's say that a practitioner along my journey were to suggest that bathing in goat pee may actually cure something I have. Would I do it? And the answer is, I'm not sure yet. I would have to have some questions answered first. Like, is there a chance of me contracting some sort of a bizarre parasite that I can't get rid of when I get home? Is the treatment safe? Will I have any lasting detrimental effects? If the answer is no, and I feel relatively confident that the goat pee isn't going to hurt me in any way, I say everybody in the pool. What is the most daring and spontaneous thing I've ever done? What is the most daring and spontaneous thing I've ever done? Well, you know, every year I do a fundraiser where I paddle from Montauk, New York to Block Island, Rhode Island. It's about 20 miles across the open ocean. And when you paddle across the open ocean, pretty much anything can happen. And I remember last year, I sat on the beach in Montauk in my kayak ready to go, and my gut impulse was that the weather wasn't right. I mean, it was terrible. It was windy, it was cloudy, it was starting to rain, but I went anyway. I mean, we had support boats, so I knew I wasn't in terrible danger. But I have to admit, a trip that normally takes 4.5, 5 hours took over 8 hours. It was the most difficult kayak trip I had ever made. By the end of it, I was done. I was so done. I put my kayak away and didn't pick it up until next year, which is rare for me. So I would have to say that that was the most spontaneous and daring thing I'd ever done. What is something that people wouldn't know just by looking at me? I'm cuddly. No, I really am. You know, I'm soft and I'm squishy and I'm just cuddly. You know, you just don't get that by looking at me right away. See, look, I'm intense. What is the last unusual, exciting, adventurous thing I ever instigated? I'm a lifestyle coach. My job is to instigate people to do unusual, adventurous things. I do it every day. I take people and I get them into kayaks. I put them onto horses. I have one client who's dying to learn how to fly a plane. This is what I do for a living, and I love it! What is my worst and best quality? My worst and best quality. I think my best quality is my ability to relate to other people. I make friends really easy. I mean, I could talk to somebody for 15 minutes and all of a sudden we're friends for life. And that's kind of cool. Making that connection with people. Worst quality. I can't remember people's names to save my life. I don't know why. I keep trying. I've done everything except for carry name tags around in my pocket and write them down for everyone and stick them on their chest. I just can't remember names. The other thing is I tend to be very intense. I get on a subject, boy, and I'm hard to redirect. Now that doesn't mean I can't hold on an ordinary conversation. It just means that when I get passionate about something, it sort of becomes my world. And, you know, sometimes that makes me not so much fun at parties. Oh, you want to hear about wacky jobs? Okay, how about a guy, all right, who gets a boat, gets a freezer, fills the boat with ice cream, dresses up as a pirate, and sells the ice cream on the boat. Yep, I was the captain of the world-famous Long Island ice cream boat. And if you ever want to search my name in Food Network, you'll see how I was on the Food Network for this very idea. Yep, pirate ice cream. And our slogan was, "We go right for your booty."